Today we're going to go back and work on one of them entry-level locomotives. We've never touched on hardly any of these yet. The old Bachmanns with the old pancake motors in them. A lot of these don't work anymore. We're going to go into this, we're going to root around, we're going to see what's wrong, see if we can fix it, and see what we got to do to get it going. Because I did something to it. I've got a little secret at the end coming up to get this one running again. This was donated to the channel by a gentleman named Cliff Hurd out there in the Washington, Illinois area. I got it right this time. The fourth take. It's a GE, it's a U, depending upon who you ask, a 33 or a 36B. I just, whatever eBay tells me, I don't know. GE. Is that a thing? So let's get into it, see what we got to do to learn how to do the maintenance and fixing of them Bachmann Pancake motors. They're little power truck. Yeah. We're getting started on this U36B. We got to get this body off there. They got little retainer clips here. And over here, you got to spread the body out. I always chew my thumbnails off and I can never get in there. So I find it easier to use a screwdriver. This is that single pancake motor that they're always making reference to during the cheaper versions. The older ones, of course, had all-wheel drive. We want to get this opened up and lube it up in there. Clean up these wheels. Now these are nickel wheels. That's kind of a nice bonus. This body, it's got some funk on it. Filthy dirty. We'll just take that to the sink. Toothbrush after it with some soap and water. Let it air dry. This will come right back around. It'll look real nice. This truck cover down here, it just kind of popped on. You got to get down underneath right behind the coupler and then the truck gearboxes. And if you can get in there and pry this backwards and down and out. Yeah, see? Right there. And it's also held on right up in here. You can see that lock tab. So you come up underneath here also. Pry it. That comes right out. Except for I should have probably done that where the gears are at. That's all right. We need to clean these front ones up anyway. Got to clean these pickups right here also. They get corroded and then they're not going to make the juice go through very well. Do the exact same thing back here on this rear truck. So once the rear truck's opened up, oh, lovely nylon gears here. No lubrication on them. You see that it's wore out quite some time ago. These axles they're kind of friction fitted in. Could pop these little fellers out. This idler. Yep. Another idler. These gears here, they're going to stay in there for now. I want to get these electrical pickups off here. We can work on this and not have all this stuff in the way. Little tiny screws. Of course, then we also lose our brush holder and the spring down here. We're also going to have a brush in there. Oh, they went all out. Saved lots of money. Boy, that thing ain't even, holy moly. Do the same over here. Red is on the right. Red and right both start with an R. Help me remember that. It's like there's some corrosion underneath the second one here. Ooh, don't let these get away from you. Aye. See this thing right here? That little keeper, that little tiny Phillips screw. Use the right size Phillips on it. Just a little tiny one. Get in there and pop that guy out. The screw and that keeper right there. So now the motor's sort of loose. Over here, there's a tab right in there. This tab right down here, it needs to get pushed in. Body drops down some more. And then eventually, there we go. The pancake motor will come out of the frame. Oh, this front one here, yeah, this comes apart just kind of by itself. My finger's brushed up against it. We need to clean that, but we don't need to pull it from the body. Looks like it's gonna do it for us anyway, so yeah. Now I wanna open this up way too far because I like to see what's in there. We're gonna take out these two screws right here and we should be able to open this little bugger up. Yep, yep, look at that. These little set of gears, jeez. They went all out on this, let me tell you. These little gears there. Shy. And then our armature is going to come out. Huh. This commutator. Looks like the copper's half wore off of it. I hope there's enough there to polish up. It looks like they electroplated copper and then it's halfway wore off of there right now. Of course, there is a little bit of oily residue in here. So I'm going to get my Q-tips dipped in the odorless mineral spirits. I'm going to wipe all this grease and oily residue out on all this stuff here. Clean up the gears, clean up our contacts, and we will be back for reassembly of this. Well, here's all the pieces parts after we got it all taken apart and cleaned up. Everything came out well. This commutator, I believe it's all conductive metal all the way around here. You know, we're going to have to deal with this stuff rubbing off right there. One of the downsides I found is that both these idler gears, they're suffering from the good old cracked Bachmann gear dilemma. Split right down through there, split down right over here. Rotten buggers. They made a plastic that was a little brittle, and as it shrinks, it cracks. Yep. The axle gears, they're fine. This locomotive, for some reason, had an extra traction tire put on one of these for the drive axle. It's only supposed to have 2 on it. Here's the traction tire they put on for absolutely no reason at all. The brushes, when you go to clean those in your odorless mineral spirits, hold on to them and then clean, you know, the top. Oh, it. Ha ha ha. Holy moly. Did I get lucky? Did I get lucky? Nope, the brush actually broke. You rotten bugger. Yeah, well, that's good to show you. Brushes, super fragile. So, yeah, that one popped out of there, and then it turned into powder and broke. So, good thing I got all these laying around. Steal another brush out of one of these. These pickups on this front truck, this is one of them, they're fiberglass pencils. You can look that up on the Amazon and be able to scare these up. And when you're cleaning these, wipe only one direction like this. If you try to do the back and forth, you're going to end up bending one of these little tiny whiskers on there, and then you got to spend a while straightening it out. Big pain in the butt. So very gently stroke these one direction to get the corrosion off of these brass pickups. Now's an absolute excellent time to stop the video for just a second and do classic model trains. This week's classic model. You guys know who this is? If you do, put in the comments down below. If you don't, hang out to the end of the video. I'll tell you who it'll be in the subtitle down below. Every week I've always got somebody that goes, "You never told us." Yeah, I did. It's in the comments down. Jeez, what's it? Let's start getting this all put back together here. We're gonna put our armature in, but before we do, we got this brass bushing right there. We're just gonna give it just the tiniest little taste. See the brush holders down there? So put it in with your commutator. It goes down. Then we've got these 3 shafts right through here. We're going to put just a little bit of oil on those. Not much, just some. Little gears go on first. We're going to put them in with the smaller diameter gear facing down. Yep, there's 2, sure. Third one coming in. Golly. I want to get the cover on this thing right now, and then we're going to grease it after the act. Oh, we got this bushing right here we want to give just a little bit to. Then it's got these 2 little tiny brass screws that hold this whole concoction together. Arr. 1 and then 2. Don't crank on those. I want to use some of this Super Lube multi-purpose synthetic grease. Synthetic, why? Because it won't harm plastics. I'm going to put some on these gear surfaces here, and then I'm going to roll this around so that way it kind of goes up and down through the bull gear and then the main drive, that brass main drive gear that's on the armature. This will help get all these lubed up. It'll spread around, do a good job. Oil your bushings and bearings, grease your gears. Now these little guys, another way you can tell that they're cracked is because the axle that it's sitting on, it moves back and forth. So when these go in, of course, you got to get them timed up. to ride where they're supposed to ride at. Now, of course, this metal axle, if this gear was tight on it, it would spin. So we also want to put a little bit in all these little grooves here for these axles. Not much, just a little bit less than too much. And these will just push down. Take a look at the timing on there. See this gear? It's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be up against this. Why is that flopping in the wind? Drive ones go in, making sure that all your gears, they're all meshing like they're supposed to. Kind of a stair step gear reduction as it goes down. Give all these guys just a little taste. Carefully get these brushes back in. One brush. I find it's easiest to handle these springs with a standard screwdriver, and you just stab into one of the coils, so that way you're not compressing it by picking it up with your fingers, creating havoc that way, because when these launch, then that shuts your project down pretty fast. These little fellers here, they were all cleaned up. I'm going to bench test this, so I'm going to put the screws back in it right now. You see how these have got a little stair step to them right there? That stair step will face in the upward position. Now we can put a little juice to that. See if she'll come to life. Hear that groovy clicking sound? That's them broken gears. Thank you, Bachmann. I sure hope your CEO's made a lot of money. Well, I snapped this truck cover on just to hold all them things in place. And it didn't solve it much. It still has got a little get up and go to it. But you can hear them gears just rattling around in there. Yeah. There's that gear thing. Surprised it's not on the actual drive axles. It's on them idlers. That's all right though. I got 4 more different F7 units. I got the exact same pancake motor in it. All I got to do is just go root around through those and steal some good gears out. Yeah. Why would I do that to an F7 unit? Well, this particular locomotive, for some strange reason, it sells for somewhat decent money on the eBay. I don't know why, because you never know if you're going to get a cracked gear or not. Well, you do. You're gonna. And the F units, they sell. They're cheap. You can buy them all day long. So I decided to open up all the F units that I had. They're in the box. These white ones. Oh, the white boxes. Test them out on the track. See which ones worked. See which ones didn't. Most didn't. Took them apart. Harvested all the axles out of them. And you know how many I found? 1 out of 10. The original locomotive plus the 4 other locomotives, that would have given me 10 idler axles. I now currently have 1 good one. That's it. That ain't cracked. Yeah. So, well, let's punt, I guess. Now this one here, I mean, it's almost identical looking. And it's got blue gears in it. Take a listen to what these blue gears sound like. Now, I've never even serviced this, but I can tell it's got some lubrication in it. Yeah. Yep. It's got 4 traction tires on it. And I think what we're going to do, take this cover back off here. Yep. Well, this one doesn't have any broken gears. And these axles don't seem to fit in this. I tried that. They're just that much different. But there's no pickup, no electrical pickup being taken place on these back wheels. So it's just pretty much a throw it in and away we can go. Truck cover snaps on. What are you talking about? What is that? That blue one, that's a Lifelike pancake motor. That's their power drive in Lifelikes. Absolutely, almost, completely identical. Almost. Now here's the story. I started recording this, most of the footage that you've just seen, except for me talking to you, was shot almost a year ago. And I was working on this and something didn't work right. And I aborted it for a while. And now I'm back on it because I think it's important to see what we can do. So now we're going to start fresh with me fighting, trying to see if we can get this blue geared, lifelike power truck installed in this Bachmann U36B chassis. I've got to clean the gears up on it. Let's take a look at it because I've got it taken apart now because it's filthy. For some reason I lost that blue one that I had in my hand, so I had to rob another one. Let me show you what this looks like close up and personal. So I've got this lifelike power truck taken apart. Here you can see that the gears, they all ride on little axles that are built in. This motor's almost identical, you know, that's the same. Here's the rotor out of the lifelike. Here's the rotor out of the Bachmann. I mean, come on. How did this ever happen? What goes on? The brushes, they're the same brush holders. These gears, the blue ones, they're the same as the white ones. Where do I have those at? Are they? Here's the bulls. The main primary drive, this one's got a hub on the back side of it. Here's those little idlers right there. Compared to the little idlers right there, I mean, holy moly. The only difference is the dang idler gears, these ones. This is it, and here's these guys. That shaft won't fit in that hole because you can see this shaft is quite a bit thicker than this shaft right there. Because these guys sit out here and they're more than happy to. Now they didn't break because the hole's not as big. Better plastic. I don't know. So we can't just swap those over. Here I think I can take one of these gears just completely off. This is probably my one good gear. Nope, that one's cracked. Look at that. Look at that. Just the same. If a guy had a drill press, you could drill these out and just go to town. I think it would work. I don't have a little hobby drill press to do that with. And you'd need to have a numbered drill bit set, not a fractional, because it's got to be the exact diameter of this, minus a tiny bit. Because these are actually held on with a friction fit. I don't know where my one good gear is. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yeah. So if I hold this axle, I can't turn that gear because that's how they're almost pressed on. So I'm going to clean this up just like we did the first one and put it all back together. And then we're going to see what we need to do to mount this in the Bachmann chassis. These drive wheels had bad traction tires on them, so I'm throwing in some Calumet number 515. These are for the Tyco Chattanooga tender drives. Because I don't know, they're narrow. They just seem to be working. I've got 3 on right now. It's doing their thing. I like to get them in. See this little feller going blind trying to see it. Get them on the end of the old needle nose pliers and just give it a stretch. Hook it, bring it, pull it out, and then I run my thumbnail through there just to make sure it's all the way in the groove. Because if it ain't, then the thing wobbles as it goes down the track and then your work looks bad. You don't want that. No. These really only want to be in one way. That one way is going to look like that. Little grease under here, just like before. Give it a little taste all the way around here. These, oddly enough, you can spin. Is it a good idea? Probably not. Sure. Quiet. This is a different motor than the one I tested a little earlier. I don't know what I did with that one. We don't have anything broken in here. So this is already a better day. No noise. No click, tick, click, 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 click. Now when you give a really close eyeball to these, this one is the original Bachmann. And this one is the lifelike. You can also tell from the silver wheels compared to the blacks. There's a hook right here. This one has one right there. The Bachmann doesn't have the hook over here on this side. This one does. Because the Bachmann had this little fella right here. You went in there like that. And it provided that lock right there. This one, It's got a little catch right there. Now I did have this jammed in the frame yesterday, off camera of course, and it just kind of bound. It bound up in there trying to swivel it. So my master plan currently is going to be to cut this off, this little holder, and then I'm going to take this, once that's off, and we will glue it in place. I thought about just using this one's brush holder, you know, which actually, it might fit. Probably not though, because see, the case is a little different in shape up here to here. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Cut this off, and then we're going to cut this little, there's a little nibble, little tit right there. Cut that off, locating holes. Put this in, glue that on, let it sit, and see if it just pivots nice and smooth back and forth. That's what we're really holding on for. Because you know that this here, this fits already. Our truck, I mean, unbelievable. One of the differences that I'm noticing here is this pin and this little catch right here. There's a difference in this width from here to here. The Bachmann's is wider than the Lifelikes. So I can't get this catch to catch into the frame. You jam it up in there. Now this side over here, because we're going to glue that little plastic retainer piece in, so we've got all the time in the world. The best I can tell is that these location pins, they're in the same place. So that's going to control the depth of the power truck in there. So I'm going to take and try to creatively file the bottom of this catch so I can get this latch to latch it into the frame. This is what holds the side frame on right here. These are both the same size. When you flip it over here, the Lifelikes is smaller than the Bachmann's. So here's the Lifelike catch, and this one right here would be the Bachmann right there. So it's bigger. Same size on one side, and this will be easy enough to fix. Just glue a small piece of plastic in there to correct that. See, what happens is it looks like this, and you've got this wobble. It's supposed to be like that, and because, you know, they got to make a couple different changes just to be not nice about it, I guess. It's the word I was looking for. So I took a little bread clip, glued it in, cut it down, filed it up, glued it in there to take up that space. The glue definitely stuck to this for sure. This truck got in there, it's latched on this side. I filed that thing open. I glued that on, and the glue's sticking to this. So this plastic, it's obviously can be affected by CA. It's not nylon or something like that. If I play my card, nope, look at that. That thing just broke off. So it doesn't stick. Oh yeah, that's on there nice and tight. Now we gotta stop, we gotta epoxy that on. Dang it. Oh, what the heck's going on here? This bulb. Let me mix up some epoxy on this. We gotta glue that in. CA did not hold it in. Dang it. I've changed my mind, because I don't want to epoxy it on. One day somebody might want to take this apart. And all it's got to do is just hold just a tiny bit, just some. We just need it so we're going to put this in there. What happened? It's just got to keep the truck from dropping down. And this hot glue, we'll be able to peel that off. Hair. It always makes hair. Nice thing is that it's dry now, or it's cool. Let's take it over to the track. See how good she looks. That's exactly what I'd hoped for. Haha. A lot quieter than listening to it go tick, 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 tick. That's for sure. Sounds like a Lifelike. I don't think any of my Bachmanns have ever ran. To tell you the truth, I don't know what a Bachmann Pancake motor actually sounds like. Oh, I guess it sounds like this with a little tick, 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 tick mixed in. Let's get that body on there. I found it some nice coal cars to pull here. Nice little load of junkers. I guess some people would refer to them as, but they look good to me. But I was just surprised that it could pull them all. I used to have a rock caboose. I sent it to some fella up there in the Canada area. So now I don't have a rock caboose for this. But I'm pretty happy with the performance of this. At least it's working. Yes, yes, yes. Who knew that the Life Cake pancake motors and the Bachmann Pancake motors were so similar? Holy moly. I'm going to try that idea out one day by drilling out them little gears that are the lifelike ones to use on the Bachmann shafts. I just got to get a nice little tiny drill press and some nice bits. Then we'll have maybe 2 ways to fix these without having to screw around changing out the truck. Gosh. Today's February 11th of 2024, so it's Super Bowl Sunday. I've been busy doing this. It's a little late in the day to finish it up and launch it, so it's going to come out tomorrow. Hopefully, this is what I do on Super Bowl Sunday because I don't watch football at all. I guess I play with my trains. This video here took me over a year to produce. I keep forgetting about the really common stuff. I like to show the odd stuff, the one-off strange that nobody has. And everybody had a Bachmann back in the day. Now we know how to get in there and root around a little bit and try to fix them up, get some going again. Yeah, they're not great pullers, we know it, but they have a warm spot in our heart. I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. Thanks so much for going along on this ride with me. Bye-bye.